And we're back, baby. We're live. It's good to see you, TJ, on a Thursday edition of the Prop Stars. Took Tuesday off to come here. There's just so much breaking news going on. It's just so much history happening around us. What a time to be alive. People say, no, it's not really the doldrums of sports yet, but this is not football season, and there's a lot going on, man. But it's good to see you, like I said. I know we can talk about NFL free agency. We had the Arnold Palmer tournament, but let's start it off with a little NBA action. We did have the second most points in NBA history scored, and there's a lot of reaction. There's a lot of people that are saying different things about it, and I'm definitely curious to hear your take. TJ, how you doing, man? Take it away. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah, we had fun at Bay Hill, through our Prop Stars connections and Scott Lagramento. We were able to get out there and a little bit of VIP access. It was fun. It's an event. Golf is a tough sport to watch in person.
It's tough to play too, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's tough to play in person, tough to watch in person, but we had fun. It was cool being like within a couple of feet of Scheffler's 18th tee shot. You're watching the
Fowler, and then we could have just knuckled up. They walk right by us on that little street drive.
It's kind of funny. No matter, Ricky Fowler hasn't had that great, amazing career that people thought he might have because he had a pretty good start to his career, but he still has a huge fan base. I think it's a little bit of his demeanor. I don't like how some golfers don't react to the crowd at all. Like Berger, right? Sure. He's like one of those guys that he never once looks around, It's all just it's
no recognition, no thank you, no humble in the moment, right?
Yeah, it's just business. And then he made that putt on the 18th on Sunday.
That was a big putt.
Yeah, he reacted to the crowd. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on. I didn't realize that him and Bhatia aren't really good. They're not buddies at all. They're not friends. They actually don't like each other. So that was kind of, I guess, cool to watch. But I think as a golfer, you're a little bit of an entertainer. And the only reason why those prize pools are so jacked up is because of the fan base, right? Maybe not always because of the fan base that's there, because a lot of that money is coming from TV revenue and things like that. But I do think that I love how DeChambeau kind of mingles with the crowd a little bit. And obviously Tiger Woods didn't always directly mingle with the crowd, but he put on a show, and I do think it's somewhat of your job to, I don't know, do it in your own way, but to at least have some sort of acknowledgement.
I say when you're walking up 18, you need to be saying guys, this is the final day. We're tied up going into this. There's no need to sit there and keep your have a little, be in the moment. Just thank you, everybody, to the thousands of people who took time off to come and watch me choke this shit away. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I can't imagine exactly right. And I can't imagine the focus. I don't know. How focused can you be? You can't really look like Ricky Fowler always looks. Even Xander, gave a couple hey, what's up, guy? It's like
we're behind Hideki Matsuyama. He was checking out the crowd, saying what's up.
He looked around
here and there.
And I've never really, and I meant to look it up. I don't know if Hideki, if there's a language barrier. I don't really know much about Hideki except for he's a great golfer. But it looked like he almost wanted to talk. But I don't know if there was a language barrier there. But, we're all sitting there and, whatever. It was fun, but let's get on to it. Yeah, the Bam Adebayo thing, it was great to watch. And it's the most overblown, how do you want to say it? A lot of people are saying Bam doesn't deserve the accolades and all that stuff. I do think the Miami Heat pushed it a little too far towards the end. But I don't have any problem of them keeping him in, right? Even though it's a 30-point game. Whatever. You're chasing history. And
you're chasing history.
You were creeping on Wilt Chamberlain's record, right? I mean, he ended up being, 17 points away?
Mm-hmm.
Wu-Tang, I couldn't disagree with you more.
It's good to see you, Wu-Tang.
And thanks for listening. But Wu-Tang, did you watch the whole game? Because I watched from the second quarter on.
He put 30 up in the first quarter, and you knew something special was going to happen.
He put 43 up at half, and they only started fouling the Wizards with 2 minutes to go. So you say it's a disgrace, but the first 46 minutes of that were completely 100% legitimate. And then if you watch it like 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, the Wizards players started triple teaming Bam. Yes, the
Yeah,
fouling thing at the end wasn't amazing. And it wasn't, but I think Spoelstra was just trying to juice up the numbers. The last 2 minutes weren't the most beautiful, natural, organic
riveting basketball. It was by
moment,
far right.
right? Yeah. But we're just gonna say it's a disgrace. But the first 46 minutes was all Bam. He got hot from three. They started closing out on him, and they started fouling him by accident. And then towards the end, they were closing out on him so hard, and they were triple teaming him, trying to have him not catch the ball, that they were accidentally fouling him. So, like, these Wizards players were not trying to give him anything. But to say it wasn't earned because the final 2 minutes, the Heat fouled on like 3 or 4 possessions is like ridiculous.
I think people are upset because here, I think there's a couple things to unwrap about it. So there's the way that everything happened. Okay. Bam was hot. And then the whole possession thing at the end, you're pushing it, you're chasing history. We got that unpacked. I think people are upset to accept this because is he the second greatest player in history? No. I'm not saying he's better than Kobe.
Yeah, nobody.
Right. And obviously there are other players, like MJ had 69 or whatever. People don't like the way that I guess he got there because it puts him in a specific rare air. You know what I mean? So now Bam Adebayo is going to be somebody name in history that people are always going to have to talk about. It's going to be Will and then Bam and then Kobe. And whenever you talk about that, I think people are just upset because of the way it happened, right? And it is a big page.
Points were or 75 out of the 83 were completely, absolutely legitimate.
Right, but he also, and I'm not arguing against you. I think these are just some of the things that I've heard, some of the rhetoric that people are upset with is the free throws too, right? He took 43 or 30, was it 36 free throws? It's the most in NBA history. Before this, it was 28 or something like that, right? So when you're getting that many points, and you even said it on our group chat, how many points he had made off of that, even if you take away the free throws, he's still like in the 70s or whatever it is, blah, 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 right? Or you said something like that.
No, he would be in the 70s if you take away the Miami Heat fouling towards the
end.
Okay.
Okay. So it was something like that. But I know that a lot of people are upset about the free throws that he had and then the fouling that was at the end. And I know Kobe didn't quite do it that way. I don't really care how it went down. It's going to be tough no matter what in history nowadays in any NBA game for a player to get off like that, right? 36 free throws on 43, I think. All right, that's what somebody's saying. Cool. So that's what I think a lot of people are pissed off about is that he's just over here taking free throws. I don't know if you watched The Uninformed Fan yesterday. Jeff brought up a crazy point. He was saying that back in the day that you would take a free throw like when Wilt was playing for 100. You got 3 free throws. If you missed the first one, or you made the first one, missed the second one, you'd get a third one. But if you made the first 2, the third one was never there. So there's obviously some certain rules that are to be in play from history back then to now, right? We live in this completely offensive league. I still don't think they ever given Bam anything early and often. And I still think Bam earned it to get to that point. You have to make a decision. You have to get to that point to make that decision. Are you going to leave him in or not? And I get Wu-Tang's saying it doesn't feel pure, Wu-Tang. You're right. It doesn't feel like we witnessed something that was monumental. We witnessed history. The way we witnessed the history is where I think a lot of people are splitting hairs. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
I think that Bam is an incredible player. I'm not saying Bam's the second best player in history, but he lamented himself in history, period.
Yeah. And it was just cool to watch a guy that is a really good basketball player. He's got great handles for a bigger guy. He's not like a 3-point shooter, but he will shoot threes. And he's a top 30 player, top 30 or 40 player in the NBA.
I mean, it has to be now. You do something like this, it's not even.
Yeah, and Spoelstra's definitely not going to pull him because you're like, hey, he could go for Wilt. And the Wizards weren't intentionally fouling him. That would be lame if the Wizards were intentionally fouling him. And I thought the Miami Heat pushed it a little too far, but I think calling it a disgrace. Like, Zandy, why doesn't it not seem right. It's just for the first 46 minutes of that game, everything was completely
I
legitimate.
feel like
No
everybody
one's even
just wants
saying,
basketball from the 2000s or the 90s, though. You just want this like good feeling about it, and nobody has one. That's
yeah,
all. I think that's what everyone says,
Does Will
dude. It's just
Chamberlain's 100 points feel right when the tallest guy in the court was 6'6"? Like, I don't
and
know.
they were just literally feeding him. They did the
And I'm
same
making
thing.
that number up. I don't know exactly, but I know that he was by far the tallest. It wasn't even close. And no one's putting him in the air of Kobe. No one's saying it was a better game than Kobe. And the Wizards weren't intentionally fouling. But yes, the final 2 minutes of the game, the Miami Heat had 3 or 4 possessions where they fouled the Wizards. So Bam could juice up the stats and go from 77 to 83. I don't think anyone would be calling it a sham or anything like that if he put up 72. But since he broke Kobe's record, everyone's butthurt. I guarantee Kobe would give him a shout out and be like, hey, and you could even say something sly like it wasn't as graceful as mine, but that is still an amazing to put up 43 points at half is absolutely insane. And he was playing against a Wizards team that everybody thought this would be one of Bam's best statistical games. I mean, on FanDuel, he was 55% owned. That's like the highest percentage you'll ever see. And that's before the game starts. So it's just one of those things where I don't know why everyone's so butthurt about it. Get over it. It's history. It's, let's say it's one of a top 50 regular season performance in NBA history. Call it that.
There's just not going to be really, I'm telling you right now, and I'm not saying that we're that far into the season because we know there's still some work left to be done, but that's the biggest moment of the year right there, man. Bam dropping 83. You can crown a champion. There's going to be great playoff games. We're going to have some really good series, but Bam dropping 83 for the Heat. That's sick, man. He broke LeBron's record too. I know that, Eric, if you're listening, I know you're happy. It's another record that LeBron does not own anymore. He's now not the king of the Heat scoring over there, I get it. There's just there's a lot that people, because it kind of happened so fast, because the internet, like when Kobe did it, social media wasn't as big, right? And I remember even when Michael was putting up 69, like I heard it on like later, you know what I mean? I didn't even see it, but right now everyone gets the opportunity to immediately plug in and get captivated and to watch every moment. I think it's different if you watch Bam the day after and you're like, oh wow, that's crazy, and you're a real basketball fan. But if you're a real basketball fan, you hear it going on, it's trending, you watch it, and then you kind of see some of the things. I still think I got no problem with it, but I thought it was unsexy the way that Miami finished with the fouls. But bro, you're going for it, and it's a game, and you get to do what you get to do. I thought it was lame whenever Shaq was getting hack-a-Shaq, but it's a part of what opportunity is. If you don't like it in the game, they got to change it. There's
a couple of things. Like as a Giant fan, when Strahan got that sack record, I thought that was a sham.
Right, because Brett Favre laid down.
The Wizards triple teamed them the final 4 minutes. They were pressing him at half court to make sure he wasn't catching the ball. Like, I just want to make sure that people are. I got wind of it in the second quarter that he was
that's about whenever I caught it.
We put the game on.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that people that are calling this a sham actually watch the whole game, because I'm pretty sure I could convince 80% of those people that it's not a sham. I don't care about Kobe's record if he breaks it or not, but the Wizards late were trying to not let him get the ball to the point where there was a couple plays where it was so crazy to watch someone get triple teamed. It's really weird. And if I was Spoelstra, I said it starting the fourth quarter, I would fine any player that takes a shot besides Bam, unless there's about to be a shot clock violation. Let Bam shoot 40 more shots in that fourth quarter. Exaggeration to prove a point there. But just because let's try to make history. The game's over. We already won. We're up 30. So game's over. But anyways.
And the Heat are in playoff contention. So it does play. It was obviously they're trying to play.
It
and
did,
stay
and
in
the
the
game
race.
was over. But like, do you remember when Mike Evans wanted to get 1,000 yards a couple years ago?
Yeah, of course. And they just fed him.
The game was over, and they threw him like a 3-yard screen pass. And
Bro, I'll never forget whenever not Demarius, who is the receiver for the Broncos? Brandon Marshall. When Jay Cutler fed Brandon Marshall over and over and over, and he had like, I don't know, 19, 20 catches in that game or something. It was just like, bro, when you get onto something, you feed it, man. Like, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? If Brandon Marshall would have caught 34 balls that day, it would have been like, caught 34 balls. I mean, yeah. So the quarterback threw it to him only. Okay.
And also, it would be different if Bam was getting hack-a-shack too. He really wasn't. He's just so much quicker and faster, and his footwork for his size is that good. And when he was making 3-point shots, the Wizards had to close out on him. They weren't going to just give it up. I mean, the Wizards' effort never died, and you could arguably say they turned up the effort. They turned it up once they found out
they just didn't want to be the Raptors. They didn't want to get embarrassed. You know what I mean?
So it was definitely, I suggest people rewatch that game a little bit and don't just look at the final minute or two. And like, there are people that watch a movie. If the ending sucks, the whole movie sucked. I can look at it like, yeah, the ending was disappointing and it sucks. And I don't mind taking a hard stance on things. I hate when people sit on the fence, but the movie is a great movie. The ending could have been better, but it was a great movie. All right. Let's move on.
Moving on from our NBA talk.
Let's go to the Raiders. I say we talk about Raiders, Ravens. This Max Crosby.
All right, Raiders, Ravens. What's going on right now? So you're gonna get Max, you sign him. You don't like the deal. You give up 2 first-rounders. Everybody's talking shit about the deal. Everyone's like the injury, the concerns, the age, the health, Are you gonna really get a good return? You just let Linderbaum go. You know what I mean? Blah, 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 right? So you're like, okay, we need to make up for it. Let's go sign Max. They get Max, and then they're like, well, actually, it hasn't really been done yet. This buyer's remorse thing is very real. I don't like the 2 first rounds. Do you like the 2 first rounds? How about we back off and go get Trey Hendrickson? Trey Hendrickson's still unsigned. Did you know Cincinnati offered Trey Hendrickson like $30 million a year, and he turned it down?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I guess to get away from Cincinnati, I guess you're getting lucky, I feel, more than you deserve, because they got buyer's remorse, and then they went and got you and ditched on Max Crosby.
So I can be honest with you. When I was hearing whispers when the trade first happened, people were saying the Raiders didn't get enough. That's what they were saying. So I don't know if it was. Anyway, they asked the general manager, are you worried your phone's going to stop ringing because you reneged on the deal? And the owners and the GM said, my phone won't stop ringing. So it's not really that. Supposedly, this was actually a clean break. Like the Ravens general manager, I know he has to say this, but he's saying he's heartbroken. He really wanted Max Crosby.
Of course.
Because I think Hendrickson is not really close to Max Crosby.
Hendrickson can't stop the run, dude. We know that.
Yeah,
like he's led the league in sacks, but he can't stop the run.
We might see him really start, going down a little bit, right? Like, he's in his 30s. How old's Max Crosby?
Oh, I think he's around the same.
Oh, wow. Are they the same age? Okay, fair enough.
What is it, 31, right?
I guess they just look. Max Crosby's 28. Hendrickson is, I think he's 31. He'll turn 30. Yeah, he's like 31.5. So yeah, he's got 3 years on Max Crosby. But anyways, I honestly at first thought Lamar Jackson might have had something to do with that, right? Like, hey, why are we going to get Max Crosby when we have
You're not giving him any help.
Yeah, go give him.
He just lost likely to the Giants.
Yeah, go get AJ Brown and give me Zay Flowers, AJ Brown, Bateman and the boys, Derrick Henry
Andrews,
in the back,
blah blah blah.
Andrews, and let's go run it back, right? But is Mark Andrews still going to be there, right? Yeah, he's going to still be there.
I mean, they got rid of Likely, and they got rid of. Can you believe? All right, can you tell me who their 3rd string tight end is? The Ravens. behind
No.
Isaiah Likely. Mark
Yeah.
Andrews, Isaiah Likely.
I'm assuming some under athletic big white dude, but
Right. Yeah, his name's Charlie Kohler, apparently.
yeah,
Okay. Charlie
yeah.
Kohler.
Looks a little bit like Mark Andrews in pads.
Yeah. It kind of seems familiar. Charlie Kohler has just signed a deal with the Chargers. I thought they had Gadsden. $24.3 million, 17 million guaranteed. Charlie Kohler's
Wow.
MO is he's a blocker.
Yeah.
Obviously they have to be giving Herbert just protection. You know what I mean? Because they don't, because Gadsden's not blocking. He's running seams and routes and all this. You're not getting this super athletic route runner in Kohler to where he's going to be running the Gronkowski, Hernandez kind of thing out there. I think this is just a pure move. It's just crazy to me, though, that the Ravens had a third string tight end that gets signed to $17 million guaranteed money for an NFL
I
team.
know.
And I couldn't even tell you who he was.
I think the big thing is like, and it's something that I dropped the ball on last year. I was so high on Evan Ingram, and Evan Ingram's not a blocking tight end. I think blocking tight ends go very underrated. You know what I'm trying to say?
That's why Hunter Henry's such a beast, because he can block and he's got hands.
You got to be able to block and catch. So Evan Ingram is a pretty much a wide receiver, right?
Right.
He's not a blocking. He can't you look at his frame. And I think that's why Kyle Pitts hasn't been amazing in the NFL either, is because yes, he's one of the most athletic tight ends we've ever seen, but he's really not a tight end. He's just a big receiver that lines up in the slot and sometimes the wide out. But when you're a cornerback, Kyle Pitts at tight end runs probably a 4.6, 4.7 40, and he's super quick, maybe a little faster, but a cornerback eats that up alive, right? So if you're not like a blocking tight end that catches, then you're just like a slot receiver that's a little slow, even though you're one of the fastest tight ends. I'm worried as a Giant fan. I know Likely is a little bigger body than Evan Ingram, but I'm hoping Likely is one of those guys that can do both. It just concerns me because Giant fans are so excited about this, and I'm like, Harbaugh's getting his guy. I'm like, well, he was Harbaugh's guy, but he's yet to have 500 yards under Harbaugh. So how much is he Harbaugh's guy, right? Like he had one or two huge games with the Ravens that all like cemented in our minds, right? One
mucked everything up while Mark Andrews was meddling.
I think one was it last year or was it 2 years ago? It was opening day.
It was last year.
Yeah. And everyone's like, this is going to be it. Mark Andrews is done and likely is going to be a top 5 tight end. And that was not the case.
It was not the case.
So as a Giant fan, I'm excited, but
as a Ravens team.
Back to the trade though. Yeah. I think that, you know what a lot of people have a problem with is that this started the free agent frenzy. You know what I mean? This triggered it. Therefore, a lot of people would have done a lot of different stuff if that wasn't the case, right? We got 59 in the building, guys. Please like and subscribe. You have all those moves that happened because people thought Max Crosby was going to the Ravens. That's why people are so upset. But from what I understand, it was a complete medical move. They obviously knew he was coming off the meniscus, but they did not know, I guess, the severity of it. And the Ravens doctors said, you cannot give 2 first-round picks. Now, the big thing is, which I have not heard any reliable answers, is what is next for Max Crosby and the Raiders.
Right, and he's on hold, but I'm sure that, like you said, his phone's not stopping ringing. We're going to hear about that in the next 48 hours, I would imagine, especially with teams going official with all of these moves.
It's like,
because right now there are 10 teams that thought they were out of the sweepstakes, and now they're back in.
Yeah, but this contract got negated because
of an injury. So people are going to have to gamble, right?
And also, there's no way the Raiders are even going to get close to that value now, right?
No, there's no way. I feel like that's definitely done. Or say he's staying put and locked in with the Raiders.
Yeah, and
I mean, you would have to kind of say that now.
You have to say that. You have to say that. But man, it was an ugly situation. Like he was in Baltimore. Him and his wife were there. They had a big dinner scheduled, and I guess the news came down, and they kind of hurried up out of Baltimore and went back to went back to Vegas. It's crazy stuff, and I feel bad for Max Crosby too. It's just one of those things where the guy's obviously a workhorse, and I don't think that there's going to be a guy that's going to get outworked in any of that. Also, really quick back to golf, the Twitter world is blowing up right now because Morikawa scratched.
Oh, for the players.
Yeah, he withdrew. But this is the problem, is he withdrew after one hole.
Oh, so everybody had him in on the bets.
So we have a lot of people. I have a friend. I won't put his name out there. He's texting me right now. I have 19 missed text messages from him. That's how pissed off he is. $700 in lost tickets because Morikawa played one hole, and
it's kind of like that CD Lamender we talked about, how he came back out and played again, or else everyone would have got their tickets saved and got that back. That's a heartbreaker, dude. Morikawa can't just pull out before so you get it. Like, why do you play one hole?
No, he hurt his back on a practice swing on the tee box of the second hole. I watched it, not live, but like 5 minutes after it happened.
What a bad beat. Did he have back issues going into the tournament?
No, but you could tell something happened and it was bad. It was real bad. Like he held his lower back and he really couldn't move. I looked on DraftKings because everyone's blowing up. 31% of DraftKings lineups had him. 24% of FanDuel lineups had him. So people just building lineups all day, all night for the last 3 or 4 days.
Bro, he was definitely locked in as like a top 5, top 10 guy for the Players Championship this week. Morikawa just won. It was like, I don't know, he was one of the recent winners. I know Scheffler is trying to be the first 3-time winner there, but he was one.
Morikawa looked great. He almost backdoored the Bay Hill last week.
Yeah.
He looked amazing, and he missed a lot of putts, second, third, or fourth round. First round, he made a lot of putts. But, yeah, Morikawa is kind of crazy. But, all right, let's get back to the NFL. But the Twitter world is absolutely going insane right now. And I have a feeling sports books will do something. Our buddy, friend of the show, is emailing Hard Rock right now. But anyways, let's get to all these free agent moves, right?
All right. So you heard the Cowboys just traded Odigizua, right?
Yeah. To the Niners.
Right? We got that one. I think with what the Niners are doing, man, I have a question. I want to ask this at the end. The biggest fantasy impact and the biggest in real life impact. All right. So we're building up towards those two questions. But like with the Niners, man, this is just another key defensive move for them to continue to build what was just, destroyed by injury last year, a good defensive unit. But I know they're trying to reload. And us losing Odigizua, I'm not really into it. I know that there was whatever his name is. He was from the Packers. I had golf buddy Chris Kitch telling me how ass he was. Is it Gray or something? He was like retained from the Packers to the Panthers, then maybe the Cowboys got him, something like that. I don't know. I'm not excited about it. I had a look at our moves. Our moves look pretty lackluster. I like what San Francisco's doing. So they get Odigizua, we lose him. Tyler Linderbaum, we talked about. Geno Smith to the Jets. I know we were hearing all these moves that were going to the Jets, and we were talking about Gene, our producer, and I think that he's trying to show some optimism here. He's trying to.
I'm shocked that he is, but he's not the only one.
No, he's not.
It's like I listened to sports radio this morning. The New York media is not mad about this.
They're excited, not upset. They're excited.
And fantasy owners that like Garrett Wilson thinking his stock's going up, which of course, Gene was excited about Fields last year. So
sure.
And guys, if I get removed off the air, it's because our producer. But,
why.
But it's just crazy to think that. I thought when I saw that move, I'm like, oh my goodness, like after how bad he looked. Now we all know that Pete Carroll and the Raiders offensive line with Brock Bowers being hurt was not an ideal situation there. But man, Geno Smith looked horrible. But
and it's funny too. You're like, oh no, they're losing Max Crosby, but then the Raiders get Linderbaum. You're like, all right, well that's good. And then they get Geno, but then they get to keep Max Crosby. So it's like, hey, we got Max Crosby. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of
in all seriousness, I know you weren't excited, but I would be like mad just because like Malik Willis or Kyler Murray there, and you could go real cheap with one of them. But whatever. Geno Smith is going back to where he started, I guess. And
Well, he gets a second chance. He gets to right back. Other quarterbacks though, Kyler Murray recently released. Kirk Cousins recently released. Kirk Cousins has said that he might be going to the Raiders to give Mendoza some veteran competition, right? Veteran leadership in the room. Bring that in for Mendoza. I think Kirk Cousins would be a better fit to the Vikings personally, just because of JJ McCarthy. The Vikings are on record now saying egg is on the face. They probably shouldn't let Sam Darnold go and moved up to the 10th to get JJ McCarthy.
What if somehow you could reignite Kyler Murray's career and do that
and bring him into the Vikings, right? Because that's what you're saying is that you're hearing that Kyler Murray might go to the Vikings.
Oh, he's going to the Vikings.
He's going to the Vikings.
Yeah, it'll be official by the end of the day, or the end of the week. But they both want. Minnesota wants him. He wants to go there. Supposedly Justin Jefferson's been lobbying, and I think it's going to be an open competition. But you can't. A lot of people are putting a lot of pressure, a lot of weight on the. Well, then you're just wasted your first round pick. But I think the coaches in the front office is saying you can't just put the whole team's hope on McCarthy going in the first round. Therefore, we're holding the whole team and the whole city hostage and just going to make sure no matter what, McCarthy's our starting quarterback. I think you draft the guy. You hope things work out. This is going to be his third season. So now you drafted him like 3 seasons ago. And, it is what it is. But you got to put someone in there and make it a quarterback competition. I'm all about going back a little bit to the old school with quarterbacks and just let them fight for the job.
If you sign Kyler Murray, do you put a clause in his contract, no video games?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I think that he's going to be revitalized. I think that Arizona situation wasn't always great. I think Cliff Kingsbury is one of the most overrated.
It's a cursed organization. I told you.
Yeah,
it's trash. Never put your money into Arizona.
Kingsbury was overrated. I think Kingsbury is still overrated. I think Jaden Daniels bailed him out 2 years ago, and I think that he's just not the guy. And I think he kind of destroyed Kyler Murray a little bit. And I think this Minnesota head coach is a great offensive play caller, a little bit of a quarterback whisperer kind of guy.
On other news, Jacoby Brissett is announced the starting quarterback in Arizona, and that means your fantasy. I'm really curious to how he gets drafted. Michael Wilson's season is open.
Yep.
That is a very intriguing play now that all this is playing out, because he was one of the top receivers at the end of the year. He led people into the playoffs, championships, yada, yada. And we know
let's go back to the free agent signings. Are you surprised that Seattle just let Kenneth Walker go?
I'm absolutely baffled by them letting Kenneth Walker go, but you just must have such confidence in Charbonnet that you just were willing to let him go.
I had to look at it though, because I was like so confused.
Because if before K9 went on this run after Charbonnet got hurt, there was whispers of Kenneth Walker's always hurt. You should definitely let him go. Charbonnet is good enough to be the starter there. It doesn't matter. Let's just free it up. Like, you heard that noise. Okay.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's a free agent. He does get a Super Bowl MVP, gets the ring, and then he just rides off in the sunset. Maybe it was Kenneth Walker who didn't want to sign there again. I don't know.
No, but I don't know what's going on. I think there's like change of ownership there. I don't know.
Well, yeah, the whole ownership is definitely.
I don't know.
Sold, right?
In the books, but like, what are we doing? He's a Super Bowl MVP.
He's a superstar.
And then I heard, I tell you what, there are some. I mean, I'm not saying we're the greatest show in history, but there are some dumbos on XM radio right now. Well, they didn't want to spend the money, that you didn't want to handcuff the whole franchise. It's $14.5 million base salary. Let's do.
You can restructure a number of people's contracts and get that money out of it. Like, we've seen that happen all offseason.
That's 5% of the salary cap. It's basic math. $300 million is the NFL salary cap. 14.5 million, round to 15 million. That's $5 million per 100,000, which is 5%. NFL MVP. I'm sorry, Super Bowl MVP carried your team in the playoffs, and you just let him go for nothing. I think the Chiefs were like, thinking we got to pinch ourselves. Is this too good to be true? Or is it now the Seattle's general manager is a real sharp guy. His name, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but he has built.
Yeah, he pieced this team together. He's incredible.
He has built two NFL Super Bowl winners, and he's done it two different ways. So I'm not putting this guy down, and I don't think he was the one calling the shots here. But I can't imagine you wouldn't want one of the most explosive guys in the NFL for 5% of your NFL salary cap. I just don't understand it.
They ended up re-signing Raheed Shaheed, and they get Sam Darnold back, obviously.
And I get it. That's a thought process. You get Shaheed, you get JSN, you get Sam Darnold. You try to build those trenches up, and, you just put the next guy up in the running back department. And I just think Kenneth Walker is one of those guys.
You think they just didn't want to cripple themselves like the Cowboys did when they signed Zeke to that big contract? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I don't think 5%.
You don't think Kenneth is in the same health situation as Zeke, right?
Yeah, and Zeke wasn't Super Bowl MVP either.
Well, sure. I'm not even talking. I'm just talking about it's Zeke still an example. Whenever you get a running back through their contract, they got what they wanted from him. They got his prime. They got a Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Now, do you re-sign him for 4 years? It's such a volatile position. He hasn't stayed healthy for the last 4 years.
No, yeah, I think that's the only way you could convince yourself.
You have to chop it up that way, right? Like you're like telling yourself, like even Charbonnet, who was their contingency, got hurt. You know what I mean? Like they're all going to get hurt.
Yeah.
So moving on with that. Okay, so we talked about that. Keaton Mitchell signs with the Chargers. I thought that was a surprisable signing right there.
I mean, I don't think
just because we know that it's Omari and Hampton.
Yeah, and I don't think that one's a real needle move, right? Yeah, I mean, he's going to be okay. Like
no, but Keaton Mitchell was always that dude before he got hurt. He was he had juice, man.
But what's the biggest ones, right? Malik Willis is the biggest one, maybe, and Kenneth Walker and Mike Evans.
Well, DJ Moore and DJ Moore going
to the Bills. That's a big one.
It's huge, right? Minka Fitzpatrick to the Jets. I kind of like that one too.
Yeah, I understand why the Bears got let DJ Moore walk, because you can only have so much receiving depth, and the way Luther Burden and the way Swift's out of the backfield and things.
I mean, Rome Odunze, Luther Burden look like they're the number 1 and 2 there for sure.
Yeah, and even though DJ Moore, little long in the tooth, still has a lot to offer for Buffalo. I mean, let's be real. Buffalo's number 1 receiver in the playoffs was Brandon Cooks, right? So if they go draft one guy, then DJ Moore is their number 1 or 2. At least they have Josh Allen has more weapons. But, Josh Allen has a great offensive line. He's got James Cook. He's got the tight ends. He's got 71 in the building. Does
DJ Moore give them more juice than when they had Stephon Diggs? Do you think Josh Allen is going to everyone said that Allen was very guilty of honing in on only Diggs on certain plays. That's why they wanted no X receiver in that lineup, because he could spread the ball out. Well, obviously it hasn't worked. Their defense is gashing 30 points a game in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. They did go out and get Bradley Chubb, so that'll help the defense, right? Bills also got Bradley Chubb. That's a nice signing. But do you think DJ Moore helps out in a good or a negative way for Josh Allen and the Bills offense?
No, yeah, I think that Josh Allen has now, I think 2 or 3 years ago, Josh Allen got a little wanted to make everybody happy kind of vibe. So he would make sure he'd feed his number 1 receiver and a little too much to where it would hurt him. But I think now Josh Allen's the face of the league, right? And anyone knows when as a receiver, when you come in there now, there's no give me the damn ball, right? It's you work in the offense.
Oh, DJ Moore is a give me the damn ball kind of dude.
Yeah, but I don't think he will be. I think it was easy to have that attitude with Caleb Williams, right? Josh Allen, you don't come into Buffalo and you don't come in and dictate what Josh Allen does.
All right, so right now, way too early. Give me a stat line for DJ Moore this year.
Yeah, I think 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 74 catches or something like that. I think that's pretty realistic, right?
Write this down, Gene. Write this down. I'm gonna say DJ Moore is the absolute unquestioned number 1. Goes for 1,300. I think he gets 8. I wanted to say 10 touchdowns. So I'll say 8 touchdowns, and I'll put DJ Moore at 85 catches.
Yeah, I think 1,300 yards is a lot, but
I mean, he's got 18 games though. So even if you would say 11 or 12, it's to get the extra.
The NFL's going to 18 games, or are you saying 17? You mean or no?
The NFL, I'm saying that he has an extra game is what he had. So it's 17 games. He has one game over 18-17 on me.
Gotcha. Okay. And I just want to make sure I didn't miss something. But yeah, I think he's going to be one of those guys that has a pedestrian regular season, but he's one of those guys that could have made that Brandon Cooks catch against Denver.
I think he has a good year. Like when I see DJ Moore going over there,
I think he has a similar year as Stephon Diggs had with Drake May. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
You think it's like that?
But I think DJ Moore,
where he shows potential alpha status, but he's not. It's just kind of
they're just Josh Allen just spreads the ball around so much. But I think in the playoffs, DJ Moore playoffs, God willing, he's healthy, will be one of those big.
I just think DJ Moore comes out because like their other receivers were just such a miss. You know what I mean? Like you're relying on Khalil Shakir and Coleman never showed up, and you got your two tight ends. You know, and then you're trying to find something out the backfield.
Like I was watching Hard Knocks, and last year they were so excited for Joshua Palmer, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
That was
not a good
right, receiver. And that was because I guess he looked so good in LA.
Yeah, like, I remember Josh Allen throwing some like kind of fade routes to him in the corner, like 30-yard fade routes, like one of those like hike and just throw into the back of the end zone. So it's like from the 30-yard line, but it was 40 yards to catch in the back, and he was like so excited for Josh Palmer. And I'm like, man, Allen's a good dude, but now he's got a star.
I didn't see Josh Palmer moving the needle. I see DJ Moore moving the needle, man. I think that's going to be a good fit. As we continue, I like Mike Evans. What do you think about Mike Evans to the Niners?
Yeah, I think that.
You think he's got 1,000-yard season in him? I do. Brock Purdy is being projected as the top quarterback passing touchdown thrower in the league next year.
And I do think Brock Purdy throws one of those nice, like, catchable balls for Mike Evans, right? Like, he's such a big body. You just got to just throw him the ball in the vicinity, and he'll make the catch, right? I still do think, though, that are we going to watch times where the Niners can't really pop you downfield? Because now who's it going to be? Jawan Jennings and Mike Evans? That might be one of the more sluggish 1-2 punches, right? Like Mike Evans is a beast, but I don't think
still got Ricky Purcell, right?
Yeah, you got Purcell, yeah.
And he's supposed to be this dude who is really high. He was going, bro, I'll never forget. Last year, people were taking stabs at either Ricky Purcell or Emeka Egbuka. And it was one of the two. Purcell worked his way all the way up into that 6th-round area where you had to make a decision to take Egbuka, Purcell, or some other stud that you knew was proven, right?
Even Ted McMillan was kind of in that category too, which is a little crazy, I think, right? I mean, I don't know. Pearsall had some
but I think Tet obviously comes out the winner out of that class.
Yeah.
Right? Clearly. I think he goes over. Now, I don't know if he goes over Egbuka now because Evans is gone. And we know that that's going to be a continued growing role because with Evans still there, he kind of meddles. Now, I think they're really they're taking the chains off. You know what I mean?
I think we know because we live in Orlando. Tampa had one of the deepest receiving cores.
Right.
In the NFL.
It's now Godwin, Egbuka, McMillan.
Yeah.
Right.
Some injuries kind of held them back a little bit, but I just think it was one of those things where the Bucs didn't want to let him go, but there's just too many receivers in the room. What do? Do what the Bears did. Just get
Mike Evans. And from what I heard, it was a Mike Evans thing. That Tampa offered him money, and Mike Evans said, "I want a new piece of my career. I want a new challenge." Is why he left. He didn't leave. I thought Mike Evans was a down for Tampa dude for life. You know what I mean? But
no, I was hoping
obviously there's a little something different there.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to be retired, but it's just like what the Bears did, right? You get too many receivers in the room. You kind of let the oldest guy sail into the sunset, right? But you got to focus on winning championships, capitalize on Egbuka's rookie contract, right? We all know Egbuka could be that guy. He looked amazing for the first half of the year.
Right? Tampa just got Gainwell. They let him in the door.
And I think that is another, I think the Gainwell, DJ Moore signings,
where did Rachaad White go? He's out, right?
Rachaad White, I think, is going.
Gene, where's Rachaad White going?
I just talked about that's crazy.
Because I know it's going to be Bucky Irving and Gainwell, your 1-2 punch, right? And then really, everyone keeps talking about that third back, Sean Tucker. And I thought it was just making room for Sean Tucker. Then you bring in Gainwell. Gainwell's obviously got juice left. I watched him last year, you know?
Yeah, he's with Tampa
Deshaun
still.
Tucker was like he was their goal line back at the end of the
Oh
year.
yeah, he's going to Seattle. Rashad White's with the Bucks, but he's going to Seattle, they say. He's kind of like taking over Kenneth Walker a little bit with Charbonnet. That's how they're kind of putting that together. I think Gainwell and DJ Moore, just like I said with Shaheed, when Shaheed moved to Seattle, I said one thing. I go, fantasy-wise, not a lot of relevance. Playoff
in real life.
But in real life and playoffs, that's where it's going to matter. I think that's where Gainwell and DJ Moore will be with those respective teams. Fantasy, I don't know how amazing they'll be. You know what I mean? But playoffs, big regular season games, Gainwell is one of those guys, and I think DJ Moore is one of those guys.
Well, as we're talking about these running back tandems, obviously we had a couple of like probably the toughest handcuffs in the league broke up. You got Monty at Houston now. David Montgomery over in Houston.
Joe
and
Mixon
he's easily going to supplant Woody Marks as the lead back there. Woody Marks now becomes the complimentary back again. And what does that do? That frees up Jahmyr Gibbs to be uninhibited, unapologetic, and to run rampant. And I think that I thought that was going to give him enough to be the number one pick. And then Bijan Robinson loses his backfield mate. And they get rid of Algier. And where does he go? He goes, is he the Titans? Algier, where does Algier go? Give me Algier, Gene. I need to know where Algier is going. And then you get Bijan Robinson now, the uninhibited and unheld back running back, who's also arguably running back one. So they're still right. I think they both are now 1 and 2, firmly entrenched. I don't know how you would take a receiver over either one of them now that they both lost kind of what was mucking up their situation, you know?
Yeah, Giants just
Algier to the Cards. There you go. Algier to the Cards. I think he's clearly the best running back in that backfield going to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think Montgomery has another year or two left in him. Going to the Texans will be good. I think Pacheco's backing up Jahmyr Gibbs now. That's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs' backfield. I mean, as
Pacheco to the Lions.
As a Jahmyr Gibbs owner, it was very frustrating at times because you saw when they gave Gibbs the ball.
He wants you on this Evan Neal tick right now.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Neal was a disappointment as a first-round pick. And I think Harbaugh is looking at him like maybe he could, be either a decent backup. I mean, I have to see the contract details on that. But maybe they're moving him to like right guard. But
he had a tough year last year, right?
I mean, Gene and I are about the same age, and the Giants have 4 Super Bowls in my lifetime. 4 that I can vividly remember.
If TJ goes missing, guys, he's missing. I'm just letting you know.
Well, I don't know. But the Evan Neal thing, him and Eric Flowers over the last 10 years, maybe Eric Flowers is a little older now, but those were guys that were considered busts as draft picks. But maybe Harbaugh sees something in Evan Neal, or maybe there's just no one else out there. And maybe they move Neal to like right guard or something like that. And he can, at least be a decent right guard or left guard or something. No, not left guard, more of a right guard kind of guy. But
interesting. So moving on
Malik Willis to the Dolphins, right?
Right. That's huge, right?
I think that they might have gotten themselves a star. You talked about the fantasy drop back. Now he only had,
I think he was the number 1 quarterback free agent on the market too, man. And they landed him.
There's a lot of unknown with him. He had a disastrous start to his career at the Titans. We could say that.
I told you his points per drop back. I mean, the guy has real potential as a star.
Yeah.
And I think that whenever you want to talk about other moves, obviously, let's talk about the Giants. You lost Wan'Dale Robinson. He goes to the Titans, right? You had receivers in your room. I thought he might have been a decent still fit for you, but
Giant fans weren't happy to see him go. We added Likely.
I thought he was a sneaky guy too. He was good. Had a lot of catches, a lot of targets.
The Giants in my lifetime have been to 5 Super Bowls. We're 4-1. I mean,
right.
Life is good as a Giant fan, and I think we're trending in the right direction. I wonder if Scatterboo is an every down back. I don't think he is. I would not be surprised if,
Titans also stole Bellinger.
I don't think you could.
Were you
ever
missing out on Bell? Are you missing out on Bellinger?
you're not
Not about
missing out.
Bellinger?
You're
Is
not missing
Bellinger just another Charlie Kohler?
Yeah, Bellinger is a great guy, and
He blocks.
we had a
He can
choice
catch.
between Theo Robinson or Bellinger. Like who we want in
Is it
that
Theo
room.
Johnson? Is it Johnson?
Theo Johnson, yeah. Theo Johnson. Whatever. The big
Whatever. It's Theo.
something like that. But
Uncle Theo.
I think that likely is Theo Johnson, right? Because I'm thinking Wandell. I'm mixing. This has been a long. It's been a long.
Bro,
run.
I swear the NFL's going to 18 games. You heard it here first. You got Dre Greenlaw to the Broncos. I think that helps out their defense, right? You had Rico Dowd to the Steelers. I
That's kind of interesting, right?
It's a sneaky move.
I mean, I get it because you lost Gainwell, so you're just kind of like now. I don't know though. Like when I watch Dowdle, I don't think he's one of those guys you like put in on third. Like he needs to be like a bell cow, right? He needs to be one of those. He needs to be one of those guys that you give him the ball. But I thought Jaylen Warren had enough. He did enough last year to kind of cement himself. But I just think these teams nowadays.
If not for Jaylen Warren in the playoffs, I would have won another championship. It's so crazy.
You know what? And you know what it tells me about. You know what that Rico Dowdle move tells me is that Caleb Johnson is just not that guy, right? I got that guy's name right, right? At least I got Theo Johnson's college right. I knew he was Penn State, but Jesus. But yeah, I think that
who are you talking about? Caleb Johnson, Rico Dowdle? Oh, you mean Caleb? Oh, yeah. The third running back. Talking about the running back that fumbled the kickoff. Yes, you nailed that. Caleb Johnson. He fumbles the kickoff, and then you just like never saw him again until like one third down play, and he came in and got it first. And that was
so crazy, but then he played a little bit, but he never moved the needle.
No, you're absolutely right. And that was who Jeremy Kroll picked to try to round his team out and save him. Yeah. And we all laughed at him. We're such trolls when we draft a person. We're like, did you see him take Caleb Johnson? And he's like, oh no, he's definitely going to turn out. He never turned out. He never did.
Yeah.
You gotta have.
I had my kids there. There's a lot going on, but I remember people not being hard on Jeremy Kroll because we felt so bad for him. I remember like people not there. We're just like, oh shit, this is what happens. You don't do
Caleb too.
Yeah. You got 92 in the building, guys. Please like and subscribe. I think that it just shows that Caleb Johnson is not that guy, and they wasted a first round pick on him. Or no, I'm sorry, not a first round pick. A fourth round pick, maybe. So they wasted a draft pick on a running back that they thought was going to maybe be one of those guys. I was hearing a little bit of Le'Veon Bell comparisons. Le'Veon Bell was a third round pick. Caleb Johnson went in the third or fourth round, but Caleb Johnson was not that guy.
No, he was not. So who has the biggest fantasy impact and who has the biggest real life impact out of this free agency frenzy that we just saw?
Let me ask you this first. Who do you draft first, Rico Dowdle or Jaylen
Warren?
Jaylen Warren.
I'm still probably going to take Jaylen Warren over it. But if he goes too high, like I like Jaylen Warren on the cheap. I don't like overdrafting him just because I feel like he's going to still be involved as that pass catcher, right?
Are you surprised Carolina just let Rico Dowdle go?
I'm so utterly surprised. The dude had back-to-back 200-yard games. No other running back did that last year. Why?
Let me see
Rico let him go when you have something building in Carolina. Like you have something in Carolina.
All right. So Rico Dowdle is making $6 million a year. Let's do basic math again.
I think Dallas should have got him back. We should
$300,000 salary cap. So Rico Dowdle is taking up 2% of Carolina's salary cap. The guy had two 200-yard games. He only started in what, like 6? So you're going to tell me that Rico Dowdle isn't worth 2%?
I just can't believe they gave the ball back to Chuba. Like, you're going to give the ball back to Chuba when you got this guy who's just running through walls? Are you kidding?
Bryce Young is worth 16% of your salary cap? I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the running back position just gets
sloughed aside, bro. And Rico's got legs, man. And good for him for not playing a lot last year because I think he landed in a great situation. If he runs as hard as he did last year, Pittsburgh is going to have to use him more. And I like him as that, rounding out your running back, maybe as your, I don't really want him as my third running back, but I would love to have him as my fourth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If I got him as my fourth, I'd be very happy with having a Rico Dowdle there because Jalen Warren hasn't always been healthy. And if Jalen Warren were to go out, Rico Dowdle lands into a run first offense that's going to just play smash mouth football. I think that's a great fit for Rico Dowdle.
Yeah. What do you think about Pittman to the Steelers?
That was the only, I think it helps DK. I don't think it takes any targets away from him. He's just like a middle of the field check down. He like never really popped over there in Indy. He's a big body. You know what I mean? He doesn't get the most separation. That's kind of the thing.
It does kind of feel like they're not the same guy. I know they're not the same guy. Like DK's like, really big, but I think
DK, I feel, is more like the George Pickens who can go up, make athletic catches. He's just a specimen. I think DK, I'm still on record saying this. I think he's still got wide receiver one potential in him. If they could ever land him in a system to get him that kind of volume, you know what I mean? And that kind of work. I don't think Michael Pittman has that kind of ceiling. I think Michael Pittman, we saw his ceiling already. And that's why he was being overdrafted for a couple of years because he outplayed his position. You know what I mean?
The Colts just have so many weapons. I mean, I think Pittman. Yeah,
I still don't think Alec Pierce is worth 140 million or whatever they gave him.
Yeah,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, 116 million or whatever it was. Yeah,
it's outrageous, dude. That's a lot of money to give a guy who's not even a consistent deep threat. He's not Randy Moss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they might have overpaid for that, but we're gonna see now because he's gonna be their. Well, he's their number one now. There's no doubt about that. Now they have Tyler Warren. They have Jonathan Taylor. They still have.
So Alec Pierce has to outscore Michael Pittman this year, right? He has to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little weary about the Pittman DK Metcalf thing. But hey, look, the Steelers are adding players, and it looks like this is going to be another team that's going to be on that playoff bubble. They have way too much talent just to lose a lot of games, but they're just waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Me thinking they haven't brought a quarterback in yet makes me think that Rodgers is coming back to Pittsburgh. Right?
Oh, did you know that I think it was Kenny Pickett has a Super Bowl ring now because he was the backup over in Seattle?
Oh, really?
I think so, dude. I think I saw some kind of clip saying Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett. I'm like, definitely got to check that out. I think that when you're looking at this situation, you got to do something if you're Pittsburgh because Mike McCarthy is now he's mediocre Mike. You're getting left with a team that looks like you're right on the bubble again. Is it? I mean, how are you going to make sure that you get on to the next round, right? And the Ravens they look good. The Bengals are back healthy. The Browns got Shador and Fannin and they got Judkins. Like, it's not like the whole division got shitty on them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Well, no, the Steelers are in a tough position. I like Gainwell. I'm not excited about the whole Michael Pittman thing, but like, who else did they even try to throw the ball to last year? You know what I mean? Other than DK, they couldn't get the ball to Austin. They like the best. You had your tight ends involved. You know,
yeah,
that was like the best thing. And didn't they have that one? God, who's that really sexy tight end, bro? He's just like. Massive dude, huge hands.
Oh yeah, no, he's a big dude. Something Williams,
right? Is he on Pitt?
Yeah,
I thought he was, right?
He hasn't done much yet, but Steeler fans swear.
But they're just not letting him loose. I'm like, you got to do something to your offense. Like Roethlisberger has been gone a long time, and they have just had this lackluster offense. And it's not Rodgers. Rodgers still has his arm.
Yeah. Big tight end.
There's some 6'7" tight end.
Darnell Washington.
There he is.
Also, I think they were calling Pickett an ex.
I'm in love with that guy. That guy is a stud. put him on the record, bro. Like that guy needs to be starting. He needs to be out there. He's fast. He's big. I guess his blocking is what's holding him back. Who cares? There's plenty of Evan Ingrams out there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, he's 6'7", 300 pounds. Oh no, but the reason why they were saying Pickett's a Super Bowl champion is because of the Eagles, because he's with the Eagles.
Okay, Eagles. There you go.
You got 110 in the building, guys. Please like and subscribe. So let's go back to Malik Willis. I'm just kind of.
I still can't believe that Kenny Pickett has the Super Bowl championship and he came from the Steelers, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
blows my mind.
He didn't throw a ball that year, I don't think.
No, like actually, and sorry, this is on a random note. I only bring this up because did you know that they didn't honor, if you Google it, Clayton Kershaw is only a 3-time World Series champion, and they didn't give him his ring for this last run, even though he like barely got out of a jam in the playoffs, like because of his regular season. I don't know. There's something that's like some discrepancy where he's not being honored with his 4th World Series ring, even though he's been on 4 teams. If you Google him, he's only a 3-time World Series champion. It makes no sense to me how they have it categorized. But sorry, not to digress. Just anytime you get robbed a championship, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't throw a ball, you did?
If you're the Dolphins, you have to put a competitive team out there, right?
You have to. So, Malik Willis, I think A-Chain eats, but what does Waddle want to do?
I think Waddle could have
has to stay now, right?
These guys could have huge fantasy years, right? Like huge fantasy years. I mean, the
Waddle
Dolphins
could be drafted in the 3rd or 4th round and be a wide receiver 10.
Yeah, and I think Waddle had a good year. And also, are you hearing that whispers are that that's Tua's job now, and Penix kind of has to come back and get it back from him? They're saying
really, I have not heard this.
They said that it's an open competition, but since Penix is hurt, it's Tua's job. And when Penix comes back, it's an open.
Well, you were on record saying that you weren't sold on Penix. Okay, we saw kind of a Jekyll and Hyde version of this kid.
Yeah,
we're also on record, both of us saying the numbers still support Tua having something left in the tank. Now, I think Tua needs the offseason 100% more than any other quarterback to just continue to get strong, recover, and let his brain mentally repair just from the last couple of years of hits. And I think that that's the best thing for him. Time off. It's not getting hit. You know what I mean? And letting everything kind of get back to normal, because the film that you and I saw is not the same film that he has the capability of replicating. You know what I mean? Like the arm strength that we saw from him in college in his first couple of years in the NFL was dangerous in the NFL. It doesn't seem like he still has it. If he still has that arm strength, if it can somehow be there as he heals, then he could run that offense, man. Yeah, if he could somehow tap into a healthy version of himself, then I think he could definitely win that job over Michael Penix.
Your eyeballs tell you that Tua is not an NFL quarterback, right? Like your eyes tell you.
Right. We've seen that. That's why I say there has to be something left that's unseen.
But you do think, he's going to be playing in a lot of dome games, right? He's going to be playing in a lot of good weather games because
9 of them, probably, I would imagine.
He's going to play in Tampa, right?
Right, usually good weather.
Nice weather. He's going to play in New Orleans. That's another dome game.
Dome?
That's
there's 10. Or that's 9, yeah.
There's a couple others. So I do think it'll be interesting. I don't know if you told me this, but their 4 starting stars are all lefties. Did you tell me this or no?
No, that wasn't me.
Okay, so Penix lefty, Tua lefty. I heard Drake London's a lefty, and I heard Bijan Robinson's a lefty. So whatever that means, some useless information there. But let me ask you.
Never know. I mean, everything is different from a lefty, so that might help certain key players.
Is a target machine with Penix.
Right.
Tua is very well known to throw to his number ones.
Right.
Also, what does Tua like to do? Throw jump balls to his tight end.
And he can check down just like A-Chain. He's got Bijan.
He's got Bijan. So I
And
think
you're not going to have
fantasy-wise,
anybody stacking the box on you with Bijan. They just got rid of Algier, so that means that there actually might be some room in the middle of the field, which is the only way Tua operates right now because he doesn't have the deep ball. So you have to have that space in the middle, right?
yeah. Do you think Drake London? Where are you drafting Drake? Where are you happy drafting Drake London?
I mean, you got to tell me what draft pick I am. You know how I am about these things.
No, but
If I'm
just pick wise, like 25th, 23rd, 38th.
no, I think he goes higher than that. I think Drake London is in the middle of the second round. He's probably like 15 to 20. I think he kind of falls in that bubble. Um, I think that he's just got that real big potential. And whenever you're starting to pick down there, you're probably going to have two running backs maybe, and you're looking for a stud receiver who's a one. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
something ish like that. Or even if he's not, that's if you're getting him in the third round. If you get a stud running back and you need a receiver, yeah, maybe he's back in second, early third. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of guys popping in my head right now. I got to see a current list. I think Drake London, if you were to give me a stat line, he seems like he's growing into the numbers. So he should be on pace for like a 13 to a 1500 year this year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He should be on pace to kind of, I'm not saying he's this year's JSN, but he's got like that JSN pop where he could easily, nobody's supplanting him as the number one receiver. So I think he should be locked in for 1400. I think he goes 10 touchdowns and probably like 80 plus catches. You know what I mean? Like he's in that market to where he should be growing into that
He
bubble.
was on pace to have a monster year until the injury bug just kept on biting him.
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't like him his first year.
I've always stayed away from Olave and London. This year, if they're there,
but if you're giving me the choice between the two, I'm taking Olave over London. Like right now, you give me gun to the head, Olave or London pick. I'm definitely taking Olave.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I've heard some takes on Shug too. The Saints quarterback. Some people are not a fan. Some people think he was a one-hit wonder, which I thought that was an interesting take. It was from a very reputable guy that I listened to, and
I think Tyler, I think some people want to continue to say that because he's a surprise. That's all. And I
yeah,
think that he was definitely the best quarterback on that roster. You know what I mean? Like
which
they
year
went
you
through,
would be better than Spencer Rattler. So that's
like he was definitely better than Rattler. And I think maybe you got to give some credit to Kellen Moore, scheming it up and then getting him into some good positions,
yeah.
right? Because
Now
that's
they
what
now they have ETN.
now they got ETN.
Saints could be like the Panthers of last year, where they kind of maybe backdoor the playoffs. I'm not lying. That team
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, like I think
was
the
pretty
Saints
impressive.
probably could split with everybody in their division, right? I could see
Yeah.
him going 1-1 with with the Panthers, with the Bucks, right? With the Falcons. Like I see him splitting all of them. I think Tyler Shug is like, I think he's just that dude who's outplaying his potential. And I'm not saying he reminds me of like Brock Purdy, but he's just like kind of like giving you those vibes where he's just the guy just continues to put the ball where it's supposed to be and he's making good decisions. And all of a sudden, you didn't think he was going to keep his job, but for a few weeks, and then he finished and he actually had some good games. And then he made Olave relevant and he actually had like they won a few games. You know what I mean? Like you're like, holy shit, the Saints are actually they're not trash. And that's why I think that's that momentum building. And I hope that everyone continues to buy that Shug that he's a fraud because that means that Olave will continue to drop and I'll get to pluck him at a better value where I want him to. He'll be this year's JSN grabbing a Chris Olave in the third, fourth round where he should be probably in the second.
Yeah. All right. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, man. I think that there's a lot of good NFL moves still to come, right? I still think we're going to see a couple of blockbusters. I still think that we could see a couple things happen. Who do you think has the biggest fantasy impact out of the moves that were made so far?
So like Malik Willis,
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like an addition of Malik Neighbors or DJ Moore. It could just be Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson being freed up. So it's like full range of however you think whatever fantasy move was the biggest move.
I think Malik Willis could be a top 10 fantasy quarterback. So
Okay.
getting him,
There's only 12 in a 12-man league, right? So that's a big deal.
yeah. So getting him with the 14th round would not be a mistake. I do think that with Patrick,
That's who I'm alluding to. I think AJ Brown's on the move, dude. Like I really do.
Well,
I think we're going to see a couple big guys.
The Eagles have publicly came out and said that they are somewhat lowering their demands, so they want to move them. But you're going to have to come with at least a first round pick, right? So, but they want to move them. I'm a little surprised. He was traded on draft day last time he was traded. I remember because I don't know who the coach was there at the time, but he was pissed.
Was it Vrabel that traded?
No. I think it was Vrabel that found out, and he was pissed.
Okay.
He was like, "What are we doing? Trading a guy in his prime like that?"
Yeah.
And then they drafted Burks as his replacement.
Yeah, that was awful.
That's crazy. Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I mean, I remember never being a believer.
What was the name of that Titans receiver that started to come on at the end of last year? Had some pop games.
Yeah, DK.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
His name is Dike.
Yeah,
think.
like Dyke, but DK.
Yes.
And it's like Chimere. I don't know. He's got a crazy first name too, something like that.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go get Jeremiah Love. I hope we don't go get a running back early, but I don't.
So who's the biggest fantasy impact?
Malik Willis or Kenneth?
And then in real life,
yeah.
Now,
Malik
so that was
Willis,
fantasy. Who in real life? Malik Willis.
Yeah, I think ETN could be like Kamara. Obviously, has lost a step or so. ETN. His career has been revitalized. I'm surprised Jacksonville just let him go. Man, these teams just let these running backs just go because they think they have a good backup. But I'm just surprised on how.
I mean, I know Tootin is supposed to be that dude, so I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Malik Willis will be fantasy relevant and will be starting as a plug and play guy for early on in the year. And then I think the Dolphins defense will be that bad. And the Dolphins will be playing from behind a lot. So Malik Willis will just have every opportunity, if he doesn't have a good start to a game, to just get those garbage stats like Brissett did a lot this year.
Yeah, rushing too. Guy runs a lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm curious if he ends up, now he's a starter, if he ends up taking like, QB1 for the rushing yards. Does Lamar Jackson come back running next year? That was a big component of his game that was not there.
Yeah, Ravens are going to be interesting, man. They're going to be real interesting. See how that goes on without Harbaugh there, without the offensive coordinator there. I always thought the Ravens offense was always so close to being great, and they should have just kept on plugging away. But we're going to see how that goes. But all right, man. Those
are some good takes, man. Obviously, we got the Players Championship for golf this week. Baseball, we're in the World Baseball Classic right now, and dude, the Dominican Republic, their team is so loaded. They have like literally like a dynasty team. It's just crazy how good that they are, and they should definitely win the baseball championship or the World Classic. And I think that we're heading for some good times and some good moves with football, man. We still got some action talking about Kamara, AJ Brown, stuff like that. But it's going to be a fun, exciting week. Have a good weekend, y'all. We'll be back on Tuesday this week, God willing. We'll be here. Pardon me. We appreciate you liking, subscribing, checking us out, man. Prop Stars out. Thank you, Gene. I love y'all.